Beautiful day out here. So much better than the night before. Just doing this on spur of the moment. I just got done doing a little weed eating. Also took some weed killer around. Some crap I made based off an internet recipe, so I don't know if it's even going to work. Here we are on a lovely Sunday afternoon here in Lima. But I just wanted to say something because, as y'all know, shit went stir crazy across the country last night. And while they do have a valid issue, and don't get me wrong, I support the protesters, but I don't support the rioters. And it's very easy to tell the protesters from the rioters because the protesters were there to make a statement that, look, we don't like what went on here and we'd like to see some change or reform. But at the same time, you had people smashing out windows, jumping on cars, flipping cars over, setting shit on fire. And matter of fact, I watched the live stream last night where there were people actually going in and out of this shoe store. There's this guy had like 3 or 4 boxes of shoes in his arms, and there was this other guy piling more stuff on top of that. And there they go walking back and forth. And this was people of all shapes, sizes, colors. So don't say it's only this group doing it or only this group doing it. Everybody was doing it, except for the people who are out there just trying to protest. And it's sad when you have people out there who will take advantage, you know, of a movement to get what they want. And it just made me feel bad because sadly, here we are. We're about 155 years now, I think, after the Civil War is done, and we're still having to deal with silly things like racism. Then you wonder why the aliens won't land. Ugh. My big worry is if this continues, and a lot of people, yeah, that's what I read too. It's funny how a lot of these people that got arrested from out of the area, they were wearing a certain shirt, a certain mask. It's like it seemed to be, yeah, it seemed to be like it was a coordinated or staged. And a lot of people seem to think, we're going to get away with this and stuff like that. Dudes, we're in the 21st century. Right now, they're going over hours and hours of press footage looking for faces. So if you were one of the wrongdoers, out there doing vandalism and all that, they probably will find you. It's scary the age we live in, the amount of info they can take. But it's also scary, when we're still dealing with such petty issues. And like they said, well, and people wonder why, if there are other intelligent, life forms out there in the universe, they don't land. To quote the Q, here we are, still in disputes and quarrels over tribal god images, still hating each other over the color of our skin or the color of whatever collar we wear when we go to work. And it just, I was always hoping we'd be so much better than this by now. But it's hard to say. But that on the same token, not even 20 minutes away from me, off there in the distance in downtown Lima, they had a protest and it was perfectly peaceful. Nobody was arrested. Nothing was damaged. Nothing was burned. No one was hurt. And this happened in a few other areas as well. But I'm just saying, right here, perfectly peaceful protest. And what really alarmed me was I put a thing up earlier today, and a guy said the only reason why certain groups have rights is because of riots. And I'm like, try to say gays have rights because of riots. I'm like, I don't remember there being gay riots. Were there? Am I mistaken? Did I miss this? I don't know. I am getting on a bit. But I don't remember anybody smashing out buildings. I don't remember anybody, shooting at people for the name of, gay rights. And riots is what I mean. There were a lot of atrocities, don't get me wrong. But it's just weird to me. I don't know what to make of the world anymore. But sadly, what a lot of these guys, someone was jumping up and down saying they can't do this, they can't do that, posse comitatus this, posse comitatus that. It's like, if they declare martial law, you can kiss posse comitatus goodbye. They can put troops on the street. And that's what I'm afraid is going to end up happening if this trend continues. And if you think things were bad before, just wait till you give somebody that amount of power. And that's why I'm afraid that some of these things were staged to do. Now, people call me a conspiracy theorist. People call me a nut. But I'm like, that's funny because I'm just thinking outside the box. Like I said, I may be mistaken. I'm an old dude. But, and then I put up a thing about Martin Luther King, how he wanted to avoid violence and all that, and people started putting up all this shit about Martin Luther King. I'm like, you're attacking a guy who's been dead for almost 50 years, who believed in other ways to get your message across. Still freaks me out. Ugh. Sure, he wasn't the most perfect human being on the planet. None of us are. But it is frightening as heck, what's going on right now. Because, like I said, I'm really afraid that if this continues, that we're heading right towards martial law. And a lot of people seem to think it can't happen here. It can. There are provisions for it. And now you're going to call me an Alex Jones nuts. It's like, do your own thinking. Do your own research. There's plans that's been in place for decades in case of civil unrest or, and things like that. You don't even want to know. Trust me on this. But don't. Like I said, I am sad what happened to Mr. Floyd. I really am, Like I said, still sad this shit's going on. But at the same time, I have to look at it this way. Now they're claiming they want all 4 of these officers arrested. And I'm like, the guy that killed him was the guy that was on his neck. And that guy has been fired. He's been charged. He's been, arrested. Matter of fact, his wife just filed for divorce. And some have been viewing that as an attempt that, she wants to get the marriage dissolved. So when the civil lawsuit hits, I guess I don't know her motivations. Maybe he was a bad seed. Maybe he toned up on her too. We don't know. Or maybe it's just a plan to throw everything in her name after the marriage is dissolved. And like I said, it's just weird, this world we live in. I know. We also, you brought up a good point there. We're dealing with people who've been, literally caged up for 2 months, because of the COVID virus, on top of all this. And I think that was part of it too. At least that's what I felt. We've been, hiding away from this, dreaded COVID-19. So you have to put the fear on that as well. We've reached the 100,000 dead mark here in the United States. And a lot of people are like, well, that's not even 1% of the population. I'm like, that's still 100,000 people dead. What are you hoping for? The high score? It just, I don't know. So there's a part of me, like I said, I've even told my wife this before, that I have a gut feeling that before, the middle of this century, we're going to have another civil war in this country. And I really hope I'm not alive to see it. I really hope I'm not. Exactly. It still sucks if you're the 1% that died. You know, see, that's what I don't get about it. It's like 100,000 people have been killed by this thing. And yet, I was at a store. Well, we went to an antique mall because they have reopened a lot of the businesses. And we haven't been there in like almost a year. And 95% of the people that were there had their masks on. They were being respectful, which is the way I look at it. You know, I have to wear a mask at work all week. The last thing I want to do is go and have to wear a mask at the store and all that, but I do it. Because not just for my sake, but to make the people who are there feel better as well. You know? So, yeah, I was there. Yeah, we were there yesterday, and it's like there's like a bunch of people walking around. You know, just about everybody had a mask on and all that. They're trying to stay, you know, distant, and you know they're being respectful. And then you had this group just come walking. You know, you always have that numbnut who thinks he's going to be immune for some crazy shit. You know, it's like, I cannot catch such a fatal disease. I am immortal. Yeah, right. Tell that to the 100,000 people who are dead. But I don't know. I was just feeling a little weird because of all the things that are going on in this country right now. Also, I did notice there was quite a few international protests, and they all seemed peaceful as well. You know, they had one in Trafalgar Square in London. They had one in Cardiff that I saw, and those are the couple I saw this morning. And if you do it the right way, you're going to get your message across. You do it the wrong way, we're going right down the rat hole, you know? All I can say is this, you know, use some common sense. Be careful out there. President Trump. Then again, like I said, I try to stay out of politics for the most part myself, really. But lessons I learned from Doctor Who: never get involved in local politics. Okay, so how you folks doing out there this afternoon? Are things going pretty well in your area? You know, go ahead and throw up a comment. I'll try to catch it here on the screen. Like I said, I didn't really plan on doing this. I just sat down with the phone and figured I'd talk with you all for a little bit. Hello. Yeah, I've been working on Dr. Freedom and Eric, the next chapter, in case you're curious about that. And what happened was originally we went to lockdown and I reread it and I'm like, oh God, I gotta redo this. I didn't like the way the plot ended up. And so I completely rewrote like the entire middle section. So that means I had to rewrite part of the beginning, rewrite part of the end. Don't worry, I'm reading your comments as I banter. Okay, I'm really cautious. I really want to know what's going on with you folks out there. And then to top it all off, I've not been able to reach our female lead in 3 weeks. I'm hoping everything's okay where she's at. Problem is, the only contact I had with her is on Skype. And she's been incommunicado now since like May 2nd. So if she's watching this, get a hold of me. Ugh. But it just, disturbs the crap out of me, that we had to see such ugliness across, the country last night. All these protests starting out peacefully. And that's the way they started, And then, boom, you got the bad apples and the shenanigans start. And then whammo, next thing you know, you got tear gas launching, you got rubber bullets flying, you got bean bags going, you got Humvees going down the street. Yeah, like 9 states deployed their National Guard. It's like I keep thinking back to, I wasn't alive then, but I keep thinking back to the lesson of Kent State. I'm like, I'm really worried something like that's going to happen. We did have somebody who got shot and killed, I believe, and it's like they're blaming the cops. Turns out it was a guy in a van. It's like, what an asshole. It's like, well, there goes my money. There goes the monetization. I said a dirty word. Um, yeah, some idiot driving around in a van randomly shot into a crowd, killed somebody. Like I said, I try to see the best in humanity when I can, but sometimes it's hard. Yeah, I'm reading along here. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, 2020 has been a very bumpy ride so far. And we're just now, at coming up on the halfway point. Oh, 27 people watching. I'm shocked there's that many. Like I said, I didn't really plan on doing this. Oh, there's a good quote from the Stand miniseries. Okay. That's right. They got a new one of that coming out. Alexander Skarsgård is going to be playing Randall Flagg, which I found interesting. He played Eric Northman in True Blood. I'm going to be very interested to see how his portrayal of Randall Flagg goes. Exactly. You've got bad eggs on both sides of the fence. For every, few good cops, you got the dirty cops. And, guys who signed on because they wanted, a badge and a gun instead of, to serve and protect. I think it's going to be a mini series, Black Phoenix. They're smart enough that they know there's no way they're going to be able to condense the Stand down to 3 hours. Like I said, I really don't know if it's over yet or not. Like I said, this has been going on for like 4 days. So we don't know if there's going to be a repeat again tonight. Like I said, there's been like 9 states now have National Guard on the streets. Not necessarily. You can't think that way, that every badge you see is going to be a bad person. Just because, somebody's in law enforcement doesn't mean that they're just, completely dirty. You can't think that way. Because the majority of police officers I've known in my life have been very good people. I have met a few bad eggs, don't get me wrong. But the good has far outweighed the bad. Matter of fact, in one city, we had police marching with the protesters. I wish I could remember which one that was. Then I think it was in Miami. Some of them even took a knee with the crowd to show, look, yeah, we support you. We know what's going on. Yeah, a lot of people forget we're still a very young country compared to all the others on the planet. Come on, we've only been here, well, if you go by the 1776 date, and the Constitution, I don't think was officially ratified, I think, till, what was it? So we were finally recognized as independent by England in like 1783, I believe it was. And then, but, even if you go by the 1776 date, we haven't even been around 3 centuries yet. So we're still on that test drive, We're still a very young country. It's only been 155 years since the Civil War ended. And a lot of people think, wow, it's like, no, that's a century and a half. Not a long time compared to most countries, Yeah, but they've been around longer. Yeah, the other countries aren't perfect either, but they've gotten some other things sewed we haven't. Like it's weird when you look at other countries. This pub was originally established. The foundation in the fourth century. Like, well, shit, there was nothing here in the fourth century, but like the Native Americans. We all know how that story ended. Oh, like I said, it's just I'm still kind of aghast by all this. Still hard to believe if this is all going on. Okay, my feed went dead. I wonder why. That has never happened before, and that's frightening. That has never ever happened on this phone ever. See, sadly, we don't know the motivations of that cop. You know? And it's wrong when anybody dies at the hands of law enforcement. Especially if these types of circumstances. Where you're being taken in and then all of a sudden somebody screws up and you're dead. Especially when you're already on the ground. Yeah, the my feed was interrupted, so it might be a little bit screwed up. I don't know why it's doing it. Well, I'm outside in my own home, and there's no one literally within probably my nearest neighbor is like 2 houses down. So, see, I'm not in public or anything like that. See, I'm on my own front porch. Somebody was concerned that I'm not wearing a mask now. I know I am ugly, so ugly. Plus, I haven't shaved and all. I got to get around that. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, the feed died quickly and suddenly, and that's never happened on this phone before. That was weird. Okay. Is it going out again? Okay, because I got a good strong signal on here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should cut the Wi-Fi and go to 4G for when I do these. When I first started, yeah, and it was supposed to be a shtick. And what it was is I was trying to stress with the mask that it's the message that's important and the fact that you get the truth, not who delivers it. Like one of the big things on YouTube these days is the fresh faces and the young faces tend to get more attention. Me being a middle-aged white American guy talking about Doctor Who, there were a few people who were going ape shit about it. And I'm like, why? It's not my fault. And I'm just as passionate about the show as anybody. I started watching it back, I believe it was 83. So 37 years in it now for me. Okay, reading some comments here. Dr. Goodflex. Sounds like the name of a new wonder drug. Take your Goodflex daily. Yeah, I have a camo mask I wear that my wife made for me when I go to the store. And she made it so you can put filters in it, stuff like that. And it's very breathable. It's works pretty well. When I go to work, though, they make us wear a standard type of mask. Those are very hard to breathe in, especially when you're working and we can't use any fans right now because of COVID. Also, we normally rotate jobs every hour so that we're not on the same one every day. And unfortunately, we can't rotate jobs now because of COVID. So you're stuck on the same job all day long, and it's boring as hell. And sometimes it's very hard to breathe because of the type of mask they have us wearing. The only thing I can't figure out, I agree with all their measures, but they're making us fill out some dumb survey thing. We got to show them that we took it before we can go into the building. I'm like, how is me filling out a survey form going to help? Wearing the proper, protective equipment and stuff like that. Okay, I can see that. That'll work. But taking an online survey isn't going to prevent COVID or prevent me from getting it. That just freaks me out why they're wasting our time with that. But all right, hang on, I'm getting caught up. There are some messages popping up here. Sometimes it's a little hard to read this screen. I'm wearing my safety glasses. Yeah, I like Black Lightning. That's a really good series. They've gone to a lot of places. Is anyone watching Stargirl? Anyone seen the first 2 episodes of Stargirl yet? I recommend that one. That one's turning out to be a lot better than I thought. You'll see some familiar faces in Stargirl that I didn't think that I would see. And here's some familiar, names. I gave up on Batwoman a while back, yeah. I just couldn't do it. I made it almost through the first season. I got tired of the one villain. Alice just got too played out. It just got silly for a point. Okay, so Stargirl's not available there yet? Okay. Okay. I know there's people out there who believe there's some kind of dark conspiracy going on. Like I said, I don't know if these was staged or coordinated, at least the bad parts. Yeah, I really tried to make it through Batwoman. I really did. There were some good points, but the bad began to far outweigh the good. Oy vey. I worry about our president sometimes. Stargirl is leaning more towards Titans. Yeah. But they are technically including Titans and all that in the Arrowverse, because when you saw the one part of the end of Crisis, they showed scenes from Titans. So it's kind of all one thing now. It is part of the all part of the DC universe anyway. Sorry, motorcycle went by. Yep. I'm just getting caught up here. The Paradigm Daleks, if you ever see them again, I think it's going to be more likely in the background or in parades. Okay? the new paradigm just did not work. Um, even though the BBC will never officially say that, come on, look at how often you've seen the bronze Daleks now more than you've seen the new paradigm. Okay, it just and even when spoiler alert, spoiler alert, when you saw the filming out on the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol, I did not see any new paradigm Daleks out there. I'll have to go back and double check, but I don't remember seeing any. You did see a couple that look like they're modeled off the Recon Dalek. Missile launching Dalek. Dun dun. Besides, I think the bronze Daleks look more badass than anything else they've come along with. Getting a little bit reading up a little bit here while these things are popping on the screen. All right, I hope everybody out there is all right. I hope nobody's been hurt, in the audience there. What's been going on. Yeah, they're definitely going to be off screen, the new Paradigm Daleks, because frankly, let's just say they didn't test well with the audience. The Power Rangers Daleks, as some of them are called, among many other names, or the Lego Daleks. I've heard them referred to by a few different names now. Okay. So, anything else you want to talk about before I go on and hit the road? Because it's a little bit chilly out here today, and it's not too bad. It's about 60. The wind's going a bit. Well, there was nothing wrong. I like the Cushing Daleks. One was used, actually. If you watch Planet of the Daleks, a Pertwee episode, the Supreme Dalek was a movie Dalek that was repurposed. And if you're ever watching Planet of the Daleks, you'll notice that the Supreme Dalek's light is completely blinking pretty much at random. That's because the operator didn't know what he was doing, if I remember right. I know, but unfortunately, in my case, I have no choice. We are not allowed to be inside the building without a mask on unless we are eating or drinking. And I drink a lot of water at work, a lot of it. Yep, so next time you're watching Planet of the Daleks, yeah, look for the Gold Supreme Dalek. That is a repurposed Cushing Dalek. Okay. So, anything else on your minds? Yeah, I mainly do it because some of our stores do require it. I know Menards has made it a standard that you have to wear a mask, but a lot of places here aren't. But what I love is the employees are still wearing them to make people feel a little better. Also, words going around to support Doctor Who magazine because I guess they're in a bind over something. Well, I agree with you. Like I said, most of the police officers I've known in my life have been pretty respectful. There's only been a handful that were a little bit cocky, a little bit out of line. Yeah, we do have the Dune thing coming up. Very impressive cast of stars. I hope it's better than that reboot they tried to do. I think it was in 2000. That thing was boring as hell. I'm not sure what the case is if you have asthma or anything like that. I'm not sure how they're handling that. I don't work at Menards. I haven't worked retail in many, many years. Sorry, I did my 5 years in retail. I'll never do it again. Ugh. Unless I get too old to work, then maybe I'll be a door greeter. Why celebrity tabloids? And I don't get the question on that. Very sorry, I don't understand your question. They keep repeating it. And why do ours suck? I think you're trying to say. I don't know. It's problem is we live in an age where anybody can pick up a mic and call themselves a journalist. Pick up a phone, call themselves a journalist. It's not like the old days where it was a little bit harder to get a hold of the equipment, so to speak. Like people have referred to me as being a journalist. I'm like, I do this as a hobby, okay? My primary source of living is I work a 40-hour-a-week job like anybody else. YouTube does not pay my bills. And speaking of YouTube, like I said, if you're running a channel out there and all that, oh God, they've just busted a bunch of big channels for copyright strikes, reaction channels, and it's like some folks were moving their stuff to Patreon. Patreon's cracking down on it too. And it's getting weird. YouTube's are getting to be a really big pain in the ass because it's almost to the point now you really can't do or say anything that could be slightly misinterpreted as anything, or they'll take your video down. Like, I know commentary channels are being hit on that as well. Frankly, I don't give a shit about Susie Lou. I wish I quit seeing recommended videos about this person. I don't care. Whatever floats your boat. See, I made the mistake of falling asleep one night in front of the monitor, and I was watching something on YouTube. Next thing I wake up, and there's some stupid thing about some YouTuber, and I'm like, now I can't get it out of my recommended videos. Ugh. How's everybody doing out there today? Still good? I said everything's fine here. Like I said, retail will drive you insane. I worked midnight shift, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. at a Super Kmart, 24-hour store. I have seen the dregs of humanity. I really have. I've also seen a lot of wackaloons. Yep. Also, YouTube's got a lot of serious competition out there now. There's other services that are, starting to cut in on their action. Twitch has become a big deal with streaming, things like that. Whereas YouTube streaming system can really suck. Um, I'm not kidding. It can. It can really suck. I'm sorry to hear that, Steve. I always worry about the company I'm in, because it's like I'm at that age where I can't really go out and get another job if shit goes south. But the best I can do is hope to move to another plant, and they could be anywhere other than here. And I'm pretty much established here. I'm very sorry to hear that. Okay, sorry, I got caught up there for a second while the thing was flashing on. I was still amazed by all the traffic going in and out of those cities. I'm like, there's going to be a protest that night. Why are you driving to the city? Unless you really have to. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people look at me and go, "So, when are you going to retire?" I'm like, dude, I didn't get hired into this company till I was 34 years old. Which means by the time I get close to qualifying for retirement, I'm going to probably be eating my food through a straw and crapping into a bag. Okay? They're going to roll me out of here in a powered chair. And the gold watch will be my golden pacemaker. Okay. Yes, the GDR, the golden days of retirement. Ain't going to happen for me. Because by the time I get enough stuff in to retire, okay, anything else? Because I think I'm going to sign off here in a couple minutes. Somebody's barbecuing under your window. Okay. I know. I wish my barbecue was working. I got to clean it out, and then I'm probably just going to get rid of it. Thing's been sitting back there for how many years? Ugh. Don't do a whole lot of barbecuing anymore. So yeah, for you folks who maybe the 4 or 5 of you who give a damn, yeah, there is going to be another Doctor Freedom and Eric adventure. It's on its way. Promise, I think I have to recast the female lead because I've not heard from her in 3 weeks, and I have no idea. I hope everything's okay there. I hope nothing's gone wrong. Well, yeah, tabloid TV has always sucked. Tabloids in general have always sucked. But sadly, that's become the big order of the day. It makes money, unfortunately. But no, I do not firmly believe that Bat Boy is still alive, or the Bat Child. I think it was Weekly World News put that shit out. I used to laugh my ass off at those headlines, on the checkout line. Any good channels? Type around if you want to see live streams. I found a bunch on Facebook. If you want to listen to the audios, go to the Dr. Freedom YouTube page. Scroll down a little bit, and they're each in their own playlist. I have the playlists right there on the main page. You just got to scroll down a bit. I believe it's under you scroll past interviews. The first one, like I said, please don't judge it too harshly because it was my first time out. I was still experimenting with editing, and that was Skydark. Okay? Skydark was my very first one. All the voices you hear in Skydark are me. Um, then when I went to Death Moon, I had a full cast. I still love those guys for doing that. I really do. Because none of us were getting paid to do it. None of us were making any money off it, really. It was just, giving me a chance to do a little creative writing and, go crazy. And we all had a fun time doing it. All right, so you go Skydark, then I believe it's Death Moon. Oh, crap. How come I can't remember what the third one was? Okay, yeah, Skydark, Death Moon, comes the Imperator. And then we finish What Lies Beneath. And we're working on number 5 now, which is going to be Murder on the Chatannu. And that one's going to be a twisted pretzel by the time, we get it done and said and over with. Hang on. Okay, a couple more minutes. I'm going to head in. I really don't watch regular television. I have net, for the most part. I got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm not going to be sitting up all night watching footage of that stuff going on, and then have to get up in the morning bummed out to hell. Well, I had a lot of time to write, because when I wasn't burning my brains out on Fallout over the break there, when we were off for 2 months because of COVID, and dummy me rediscovered computer gaming or PC gaming, and well, you just got to write, as much as you can at a time. Sit down, and what I do is while I'm at work, I try to keep a blank sheet of paper and a pen nearby. And sometimes when I'm at work, I get the craziest ideas, because even though I'm listening to a book or something like that, then suddenly an idea will pop into my head and I'll write it down. And then when I get home, I try to copy those ideas off into a notebook file. And there you go. Okay, a couple more minutes and then I'm going to head on in. Oh, Ken, you're so clever. I love it when people make mean comments from their mummy's basement. All right. Yep, so please, everybody, take care of yourselves. Remember, we still got COVID running around on top of everything else. I love this guy. He's trying to provoke me. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Yes, creating is always good for the soul. And before I go, all I can tell that one guy is, I may be overweight, but in your case, you can't fix stupid. Good night, folks, or good day. Take care.